Okay, y'all. Good morning. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. I know I didn't give any notice. I just kind of felt like getting up this morning and getting on here to do a live stream. I hope you all rested well. Oh, okay. Well, feel free to introduce your husband. And, I just had a few things on my mind and I just wanted to kind of get a hi, Black Cobra, and just kind of shoot the breeze and Shabbat Shalom to everybody entering the room. Amir and Astic Boy, One Wonder, welcome. Boy, you guys get up as early as I do. Hi, Ronnie M. Shabbat Shalom to you. Teresa Thompson, Shabbat Shalom. Layla Q, Shabbat Shalom to you and your husband. There are so many things going on in this world right now. And we got America that is really sinking fast with this government shutdown. And, you're looking at a system that was already backlogged long before the shutdown. So now you have work sitting around undone. By the time these people get situated and this thing is over, it'll probably take them well over a year to get everything caught up. The only thing we must do is keep ourselves grounded. Oh, you're 4:43 in Portland, Christopher? Wow. Yeah, well, it's 7:38 right here where I am. We have to keep ourselves grounded in this whole thing. It is really easy to get caught up in all of the negative things that are going on. Just understand, the people that run this place never ran it right. Okay? And they have a long history of never caring about anybody other than themselves. So you're going to hear a lot of whining from them. And from the supporters, you're going to hear them complaining because we're not supporting Trump. Oh, really? Yeah. Do you know, I just heard recently Trump was actually born on the blood moon. Yeah, destruction. Destruction was born on the blood moon when it came down to his case, not your mother. I'm not talking about your mom. But just stay grounded. Technically, in the Black community, ladies and gentlemen, our people that are on food stamps, we could pretty much carry them. Okay, because it's really not a lot when you look at the scheme of things. There's more white people on welfare than Black.
And technically, if we really wanted to get our act together, we could support those people and help them with food within our community. But them, on the other hand, they would have a problem because it's way more white people on welfare. So for us, it really won't be quite as bad as long as we try to help those few people that need the help. And I've done it. I've had a few friends struggling and I bought groceries for their entire house. I've done that before in the past. I have gone in stores. When I was a teacher, I had a black student. She and her mother were struggling. Her mom didn't have a job. She was in school. And I remember she came and cried to me one day about them not even being able to afford to buy food. So that next morning, before I came into work, I went to the supermarket and I got her a $150 gift card so that she and her mom could go to the supermarket and get some food. It's hard. It's hard out here for many of our people, and we can't get so high and mighty in our lives that we forget about the ones that are in need around us. February is going to be a pivotal month for many within our group. Many of our elderly people do count on the government to pay part of their rent, especially if they're elderly and live on their own. Many elderly people that are still able-bodied and do for themselves, they get assistance so that they can make it. That's going to be cut off as of February. And EBT, food stamps, will be cut off as of February. And look at where we are now. We're really not that far off from February. Section 8, I was reading just a day ago, will be impacted by this whole thing as of February. So February is a very pivotal time. So if we can help our people, help them. I realize everybody is not in that position, but let's do what we can for our people from within. Nobody chooses to be in the system. Sometimes the circumstances just lead them in that direction. But we know this system has always been cruel to us. We can take it all the way back to the day of lynching. This government looked the other way the whole time our people were being lynched, tarred and feathered, raped. They looked the other way. They never cared about us. And this is why, just from looking at history all the way up until today, historically, this is why you see the police react so harshly to the Black community, because that harshness is historic. It is something they've always done. They've always done this. Shabbat Shalom, the true royal family. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Brenda. Shabbat Shalom. So whenever you see them doing all kinds of racist things in the media, this goes way back to things that have been passed down through the generations. And if you remember, we had the weatherman that recently went on the air and called Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King's day is this coming Monday, I believe. And he said Martin Luther Coon. And now we have a second newscaster from Fox saying the same thing, Martin Luther King, but I'm gonna show you some footage. I gotta share my screen with you. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna show you something. All right, give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Please give me a 1 and then I can get started. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I want you to see how historic this thing is with them calling Martin Luther King Martin Luther King. They have been passing that down through the generations. The reason why you're hearing it now is because this is what they have been saying about King all along. Now, this footage that you're about to see goes all the way back to the 60s. So let's go ahead and watch it.
Our city and our county has been subjected to the greatest pressures I think any community in the country has had to withstand. We've had in our area here outside agitation groups of all levels. We've had Martin Luther Martin Luther King. We have had people of the Nazi Party, the States' Rights Party. Both of these groups have come in. They have continually harassed and agitated us for approximately 3 or 4 weeks.
You see that? This is what I'm saying to you. These things are happening, ladies and gentlemen, because it's historic. This is the kind of stuff they pass down. They don't really like Martin Luther King. Okay? They don't like Martin Luther King. They just use Martin Luther King to try to shame the Black community. Okay? This is what they do. But deep down inside, they don't like Martin Luther King. They don't like him, ladies and gentlemen, because they don't like anybody that fight their system. Just understand that. Anybody that rise up and rail against the system that they have put in place, you are hated. You are the one they're constantly trying to silence. And you are the one they will target. Just understand that. They passed that Martin Luther King stuff down through the generations. This is why you are now seeing these newscasters coming forward on their jobs and saying these things. Those are not accidents. Just understand that. That's what they have said about Dr. King historically. And these people don't change. That footage was from the 60s. And here we are in 2019, and they're still saying Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. But see, this is the kind of stuff they pass down. And this is why racism will never end. It's never going to end, y'all, because they are behind the scenes raising their kids on it. And at the same time, looking at you and lying their asses off, talking about they're not like that. All white people ain't like that. We're not like that. They're lying. And the sad part is you're going to hear this more and more and more. They mean that shit when they say it. They mean every word of it. Those slip ups are they're slipping on the air because they say it so often. They don't think about what they're saying. And then when they get caught, oh, well, I'm not a racist and I don't know why I said that. Yes, you do. You said it because your forefathers taught it to you. And then here comes the news stations. Oh, these things, we don't advocate racism. Yes, you do. You hired a racist. Yes, you do. You advocate it. You hired these people that are saying these things. Yes, you do. And then we hear the usual rhetoric, them trying to distance themselves from the very people that they taught this shit to. They're not fooling anybody. I see straight through it. See, it's nothing for them to cast someone aside for the sake of saving their business or losing revenue. But always remember one thing, that person won't be unemployed for long. The moment they're cast aside, you can best believe somebody's on the phone with them right now offering them a job. They won't stay unemployed for long for making those slip ups on, I know, a deliberate slip up on TV. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm with you, Brenda. I don't believe he was a coon. And, a lot of people don't like Dr. King because he was trying to bring people together. But towards the end of his life, Dr. King was talking very different. In fact, he regretted bringing our people together because he realized it was a mistake. These people were so ingrained with racism. What are you bringing your people to? Even he knew towards the end. That's why he said he felt like he was walking his people into a burning house. He knew at the end of his life that all of that stuff he was advocating was wrong. He was changing, he was evolving, and people do that all the time. But he was changing. I think just at the time, he just wanted his people to stop getting brutalized at the hands of these white folks. So I understand, and I understand how he evolved and changed. Many people change, you mature, you start seeing things differently. I can't knock Dr. King. And I really think all of us should stop doing that. Look, at one point in time in my life, I had white friends. I used to go out to happy hour with white people. I did all of that stuff. And then something happened and I changed. I got tired of looking at all of the hypocrisy. I got tired of their arrogance of trying to make it seem like they have freedom of speech, but Black people don't. No, I'm not accepting that. You can't brutalize my people in this society and then tell me to go somewhere and shut up. Fuck you. You ain't fenced to tell me nothing. That's why I used their courts and took YouTube to court for all that hate speech nonsense, which is just another tool they use to silence the Black community online. They use hate speech to censor us. In fact, I just got an email from somebody, an Israelite brother, that just lost his channel. And one LVZ yesterday lost his channel. So I got those two emails yesterday. And, I just gave them my instruction on how I felt they should handle the whole thing, based on the process that I went through. But one thing you must remember, ladies and gentlemen, just because somebody shuts you down on YouTube. It does not mean when you walk in that court of law, your freedom of speech won't be recognized. It will. They have to recognize your freedom of speech in a court of law. And that's what you must understand. That's why I always want our people to fight. Now, one LVZ, what he did was he had a video of Khaled. And you know he always have Dr. Khaled in his videos. Yes. And you know he always have Dr. Khaled in his videos. So all he really has to do, and he can effectively fight that, ladies and gentlemen, is by just go out there and pull up every single YouTube channel that got Dr. Khaled there. There's a lot of YouTubers. If you just type in Dr. Khaled, there's a ton of channels, hundreds, maybe even thousands that have Dr. Khaled in their video. Good morning, Tareen. So how do you take his channel away for a Dr. Khalid Muhammad video, but you got thousands of other people out there with videos of his entire speech and you didn't touch their channels? So he can really effectively fight them. I went out there and looked. There are thousands of people with Dr. Khaled's videos out there, his full speech. So how are you going to condemn him for having that, but you're not condemning all of the others? See, that's how you take them to court. That's how you do it. So now, if you're not going to remove all of those other people, how do you justify removing one LVZ? You can't. You can't. And see, again, Black people, what I want you to understand is criminal court in America is rigged. Yeah, he emailed me too, Tareen. Criminal court in America is rigged. They got it rigged for us to be in trouble and go to jail and for them to get out of everything. But the civil side of court is a little more balanced. Black people actually do very well in civil court. They can't fudge the law quite as easy in civil court as they do in criminal court. So if you just take a step back and say, okay, they're condemning me for having Dr. Khaled's videos up, but I see over 1,000 channels with that video up. All right, so now how do you justify condemning me? They can't. They can't. Trust me on this one, y'all. They can't. That's how you beat them in court. Whenever they condemn you for a video, you go out there immediately and pull up all of the others that got that same video up and they're not flagged. I pulled up a whole bunch of Dr. Khaled videos. I didn't see any of those people flagged for it. See, the thing with YouTube, they try to cherry pick who to go after and who to back off. If you're not really being a nuisance to them, they won't really bother you if you have that video up. But those of you that are fighting against the system, yes, they're going to come after you. You're an automatic target. Just understand that. You're always going to be an automatic target. The only Black people on YouTube that's really getting paid are coons. If you are not a coon, you ain't really getting paid out here. You're really not. You're fighting the system. You're taking a lot of heat, not only from your opposers, but even people from within that are fighting you, that have turned on you and they're fighting you from within. So you gotta be prepared for both. And it's not easy all the time. You have to understand it's not easy. It's terrible when you gotta fight the system and then at the same time fight your people. But many of our people are lost and they have God complexes. Like, if you do one thing wrong, you're condemned forever, when that is not the case at all. At this point in all of our time being under this system, we should not be heavily condemning each other when we already got a system in place that's doing that. Why are you kicking people while they're down? But this is the thing people do. Well, I don't expect righteousness in this society at all. I think what is more sad to me is when our people repeat the things that our enemies say. For instance, when it comes down to crime, you got people within the Black community that will repeat word for word what white people say about Black people. Black people are so violent. Black people commit so many crimes. Black people are the problem. Black people from with we need to do this. White people commit far more crime than Black people, far more. But they got a system that will dismiss their crime and let them go home straight out of court. And that same system will put a Black person in jail that never committed a crime, and they sit in jail for decades. And then all of a sudden, 20, 30, 40 years later, oh, well, we got some evidence over here. You should never have been in jail. Why are you taking the word of a people that have done that to your own? Why? But we got so many people messed up in our community. They're still giving credibility to these folks when they have no credibility at all. It now makes my stomach turn when I hear these folks say, well, Black people need to fix within a, yeah, we do need to fix within our community. Yes, we do. That is a discussion that we have among each other. But there can be no discussion if you're going to come to the table repeating the rhetoric of the white man. We can't have a discussion with that. They're not in any they're not in any position to be pointing fingers. They're out here killing unarmed Black men. You can't come to me talking about Black people killing, and you motherfuckers are in the street killing unarmed Black people. You can't come to me talking about Black people being criminals and your folks are just walking up on Black people calling the police over a bunch of nothing. You can't come to me with shit. And these folks would never have credibility if we would just deal with our sellouts. We don't deal with them. We don't deal with them. You know, there is a Black press TV reporter. She has been jailed in America. I'm going to play the video for you. She has been jailed in America, and they have not charged her. Now, this woman is a Muslim, but one thing I like about her, she gives Black people in this country a voice on press TV. She lets Black people say what they want to say, where the American mainstream media will not let Black people say the kind of things that we need to say. They want to censor and then edit out what you say and then put a whole different perspective on TV for people to see. I have seen this woman interview numerous Black people. And she herself is a Black Iranian. So let me go ahead and pull up this video for y'all because I want you to see this. Hold on one second. I'm going to stop the screen sharing for one moment so I can pull this up. Let's see, I can probably play this one. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen again. All right, let me know. Give me a 1 if you can see my screen, and then we can get started. Shabbat shalom to everybody just entering the room. Shabbat shalom to you. Kemet God, some of our people are in Iran. They were slaves there. We're all over the Middle East, our forefathers. So, no, Iranians themselves are not Black, but they do have Black people in that country that were the offspring of slaves that were there. And those are our people. All right, let me go ahead and get started.
American-born journalist who was reportedly arrested in the US without being charged earlier this week is set to appear in court this Friday, according to her son. Marzi Hashemi works for the English-speaking Iranian news channel Press TV and was detained at St. Louis Airport. 59-year-old Hashema was born Melanie Franklin into an African-American family in New Orleans and converted to Islam following the 1979 Iranian Revolution. Since 2008, she's lived in Tehran and been a prominent journalist and presenter for Press TV. Hashemi was reportedly visiting relatives in America and was thought to be filming a Black Lives Matter documentary. Earlier, I spoke to her friend who told us she's been in contact with the Hashemi family.
Been in regular contact with Marzi's children, who are all in America, decades of experience in journalism, and her family are very concerned. They have very little information of what is going on. They know she's detained without charge, and they are very, very concerned about her. The only information and contact the family have had with Marzia is a telephone call to her daughter on Tuesday, where they received worrying information from Marzia. Marzia told her daughter that she had her hijab. She's a Muslim woman who wears a hijab, a veil covering, such as what I'm wearing at the moment, that was taken off against her will, that her mugshot was taken without her hijab on, that she was given only a short-sleeved T-shirt in contravention to her own Islamic dress code, her that she wears, and that she had to gain another t-shirt just to be able to cover some of her hair. She also told her daughter that she wasn't, in essence, given adequate food because she was not given a halal Muslim option or a vegetarian option. And on Tuesday, the only conversation they've had with her, she told her daughter that she'd only been able to eat a cracker or some bread that came with that food since being detained. And the family are saying to me every time I speak to them, they have no idea what's going on. They literally have no reason to believe that she would have to be detained. They don't understand if she needs to be a witness to something. They have no clue what that might be, and they don't see why it would have had to happen in this way, when Marzia would have been cooperative if someone had come up and asked her, the authorities asked her any questions.
The FBI has so far refused to comment on anything relating to Hashemi's case.
Now, you hear that, right? Now, I want you to think about this. When did they ever need a reason to detain a Black person? They don't. Okay? They don't. They have taken Mazia and they have jailed her. The FBI grabbed this woman at the airport. They have been detaining her now for over a week. They won't tell her why, and they won't set her free. And when her family tries to find out what happened to her, they've been hanging up on her family. Okay? They've been hanging up on her family. So her family don't know what's going on. They won't give any information. They won't even tell her why she is being jailed. They won't tell her nothing. So if there's a reason or there's information they want from her, they're not telling her. So in the meantime, this is a person that believes in being covered up. They won't let her cover up. And she said the little words that she was able, yeah, it's a kidnapping. Exactly. If you take somebody and you don't tell them why, it's a damn kidnapping. So now they have stripped her of her covering and what she wears, and they're making her wear a t-shirt, no head covering, giving her bologna sandwiches when they know she's a Muslim and she doesn't eat no damn bologna sandwich. And see, this is what this government does to someone Black. And they won't release her and they won't say why, and she has not been charged. Now, usually if you're not charged with a crime, they have to let you go, right? They won't let her go. So I just want you to see this and think about the thousands of Black people in jail, never convicted of a crime, but they won't let them out. This is something that has always happened in our community, ladies and gentlemen. Think about the first guy that got arrested when they came out with BIE. Remember that? BIE. And he was detained for a while. And he didn't commit a crime. So these arrests are always happening to our people. Just understand that. They've been doing this forever now. And now we got yet another Black woman. She has no prior criminal record. The reason why she was in St. Louis, her brother got cancer. He's in the final stages of cancer. So she went to visit him. She wanted to see her brother, and that's when she was detained. So we know in America, no crime has to be committed for Black people to be detained. None. That's why when they come and talk all that black people in jail, black people commit all the crime. No, we don't. You do not have to commit a crime to end up in this fucked up system. Just understand that. Stop repeating the words of the white man. He is lying. Can't you see their words are nothing but straight up lies? And I have to say this to you again. Why are we still giving these people credibility? Why? Their system alone is very criminal. These folks don't have any morals. You can't have any morals to set up a system like this. You can't have not 1 ounce of morals. You know, it really hurts when you see that happen to our people. It hurts me. I just wish that we could just stop going after each other when we clearly see we got bigger fish to fry up in here. We really do. The same people that have been hurting us in this system for centuries are still doing it, and they're not missing a beat. We are a people that is still a slave to a system that hates us. We really are. You know, you may think that many of us on YouTube are small and we don't have a voice, but our voice really is important. You know, anytime your enemy is trying to shut down your voice, that's how you know your voice is important. And despite the fact that they claim you're not reaching anybody, you really are. Those of you that are thinking about putting up channels, please do it. We need so many more Black voices out here. We do. We do. When I came to YouTube, I was never looking for fame. I had so many things on my mind that I just needed a way to express those things. And I was able to find that in doing my videos on YouTube. It was an outlet. Still is. Still is very much an outlet. But I'm not out here trying to outperform anybody because those are the least of my concerns. But I do want to be able to find those stories where I see us being treated wrong and get that out to you and express my opinion about it. Fadine, please make a YouTube channel and start putting videos up. Every voice counts. Every one. You may believe that you won't make a difference, but believe me, you will. You will. You'll make a difference. But don't weaponize your channel to go after other Black people. Don't do that. We got too much of that out here. And it's not helping the community at all. We got too many people doing that. And the more they do it, the less purpose they have out here. We need the people that will dig in and fight the system. Turning on each other is not fighting the system. And it's not getting Black people out of the oppression, and it's not bringing awareness to those stories that deserve to be heard and seen. And, you know, I forgot to give my proper greeting today, y'all. Please forgive me. Shabbat shalom to everybody in the chat. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to all of the sellouts that are listening to me behind the scene. Shabbat shalom to you. And Shabbat shalom to all the white supremacists that follow me around like flies on dog do. Shabbat shalom to you. There you go. I gave my proper intro now. All right, y'all, what I'm going to do, let me post my email, and anybody that wants to join me on the panel, send me an email, and I will send you the link, and we can thank you so much, Malcolm. Shabbat shalom to you. Anybody that wants to join the panel, just send me an email, and I will get you on, and we can chop it up for a little while. Okay, let me get the link from there so that I can give it to everybody. All right, anybody that wants to join me on the panel, you're more than welcome to come on the, I'm here. You can come and join me on the panel. All right. Now, True Royal, I did send you the link if you're interested in coming on the panel. But if anybody else wants to come on the panel, please drop me an email. Okay.
I gotta get my headset.
Okay, go ahead. Get yourself together. Brenda, please check your email. I just sent you the link. All right. How are you doing today, Queen? True Royal, are you there? I think you're going to get your headset, so I'll give you a moment.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can. How are you this morning?
I'm doing just fine.
Good.
Okay. There was something that I wanted to say on my
Oh,
channel, but not everybody heard it. I know that a lot of people are really down about the verdict that case who slaughtered Laquan McDonald.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
we all pretty much expected because of the way things were lined up. And um, I've been saying lately for a while, we have won the war. And this is a good example of when we see the enemy win a unquote battle. And some of us will react in a way like they have won the overall war. But we see the enormous amounts of money and all the time that they take to win a battle.
mhm,
It, nothing happens naturally with these people. So these things have not surprised many of us, but some of us, and I feel the same way like anyone else. Um, and it was something that they didn't televise, but I will tell y'all what happened was that a younger brother who was one of the leaders in the community out in Chicago, he hollered out and screamed as loud as he could, "We're not marching anymore." And I was so glad to hear someone to say, "To hell with marching. We already know what's going on." And I've often said, let's start looking at this much deeper with our spiritual eyes. And something that I've been noticing, and it's always been going on, but when I started even looking deeper, is that it takes the enemy a great deal of energy, time, and money just to deal with the one of us. So, what that tells me in the spirit world is how much power that we really do have. That you are so hung up on winning that you have to go to this extent to deal with one of us. Anybody that has a channel even know we can put up a title and they start flagging our channel. So
mhm,
you keep pointing to where the energy, where the power lies. Um, they've been messing with Farrakhan again. Okay, that's 80-plus-year-old man. And I'm saying, okay, what's the message there? What's the message there? It they they don't even realize they're helping us. They keep pointing out we the one that have power. And I'm trying my best to use words of encouragement where we don't waste our energy on getting all upset over what they continue to do. They don't know nothing else to do but what they're doing. So if we do know the word or we continue to study the word, we know the ending of our story. They on their last leg. You can see it. If you can't see it, you'll never see it. Um, and that's not to dismiss what anyone feels. I just don't want us to get our energy. So I don't want, what they want you to do, what they're really asking at this point is that they want to have full range and free range to abuse us with impunity, and we're not supposed to react to it at all. Just take what they dish out. So when I get a message like that, that also tells me you're feeling your power being fully taken away from you. So they want to have things again rigged up in their system where they want to continue to get away with this, but that still does not change what's going to happen in the universe. It's like this. It's not going to stop the weather and the things that's going on in the weather. It's not going to stop the blood moon. It's not going to stop the paradigm shift. It's not going to stop when Mercury goes into retrograde. It's not going to stop. We're getting ever so close. And many of us been saying the closer that we get, the nastier things are going to get because the enemy lives in a state of fear and they want us to live in a state of fear. We're seeing that the government has been shut down, and I ain't I'm not disturbed by it. This is the way we have been living all along. And this goes back to when I said, if the enemy really knew how to think, they should have fattened us up for the kill. Oh, we would have felt it now. But we know how to dig in. All we know is survival. So the other thing that I see is as these events continue on, you're left no other choice but to fully submit to the Most High. So I want to leave it right there.
And I agree with some of what you said, and
Mhm.
yes, but see, I feel the government shutdown before from a different perspective. I'm
Mhm.
not crying over what Trump did. I'm not crying over these politicians, and I'm not crying if the enemy is feeling the pain. But I do feel for our people that
Yes.
are falling fast and they don't know what to do. I
Hmm.
feel for them, but
Yeah, I do feel for our folks always. Hmm.
screw the rest of you know what I mean? Because they
Hmm.
would never be with us if it was the other way. If Obama did this, and they would be a witch hunt, and they know it.
Hmm.
But because this is Trump, they are trying to, in their case, trying to hold things together. Screw that. We know if Obama would have shut the government down like this, it would be all out hell in this country.
Not, and it wouldn't have lasted this long.
Yeah, it would have
Hmm.
been all out hell after about a week.
Hmm.
Okay, let's be real.
Hmm.
But this, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of how these people run a system. They can't run nothing. Just understand
Hmm.
that. We have been tolerating it, but that doesn't mean it's a good system because we have been rolling along with it.
Hmm.
And the enemy hates me because I'll get on my videos and say things that they can't run businesses. I'll never forget when I put my video out showing how they do very poorly in businesses, how they'll lose $200 million in a quarter,
Hmm.
$1 billion in 6 months. But the system is so rigged up, they can lose that kind of money in business and still go out and get a business loan.
Hmm.
So does that look like somebody that knows how to run a business? No. The only reason why they look like, give the illusion that they know how to run a business is because they got it so rigged up. It looks like they're running along smoothly and they're really not.
Correct.
They're not at all.
Hmm.
But many of us are believing the illusion that we're looking at. I was believing it at one point in time in my life until I started picking up a Wall Street Journal. Back in the day when I was in corporate America, I would pick one up every now and then and read it. They do horrible in business.
Yes, they do.
But see, they want to talk about Black people and how we handle money, and they handle money far worse than we do.
Yes.
And how you doing, Queen Brenda? Brenda? Brenda, are you there? I guess maybe she stepped away.
Okay.
Hi, Markia. Are you there? Okay, I guess they stepped away too.
Was it?
I'm gonna mute these folks that are not responding. You can
Okay.
come on when you're ready to talk.
Yeah.
Um, but Queen, what I see is a people that have presented an illusion to the entire world. But then when you
Hmm.
start looking at them as a whole and how they run things and how they do things and how they got everything so imbalanced and tipped in their favor, you realize it's all fakery. It's all fake.
And
Our
and it,
people are still believing in this system.
yeah, they really is. And see, one thing about our true enemies, they've been quite smug and comfortable in their positions and thinking everything is just going to work out for them right. And when they don't feel like they don't have that comfort zone there, um, there is a concern. There's a grave concern, and we're gonna continue to see them turn on themselves.
Mhm.
turn on themselves because and it ain't never been and the thing is nothing ain't never been it's been all an illusion. You know, they've been taking their money for the longest, um, and doing God knows what with it. And it's amazing to see the things that Trump is doing. But what I like is this stuff been going on. We just have somebody, they just have somebody in place that's such a narcissist, they don't mind showing it. You know, they've been playing a game to keep their folks comfortable. They like, okay, we're comfortable. I got everything set. I don't have to worry about anything. And they don't know how to survive in this.
No. No, they
Mm-mm.
don't.
So
No, they
we
don't.
always, all my only concern is I just don't want our folks, just like with this craps that they doing in the courts, to react in such a way that they get what they want. We just continue to survive. We continue to come together. And I said that the events that continue to happen as we watch Babylon fall is bringing us together. We're left no other choice. We was going to come together anyway, but this will bring you together closer because you see that you need your people in order to survive because they successfully made us a group of separatists, and you see even more so how much you need your people based on what they are doing. You
Right.
seeing how deranged it is. I need my people. I
Right.
can't live separate. I can't do this by
You
herself. And I want
don't.
to say to the,
You brought a
excuse
great
me.
point. You brought a great point. And I want to just go back to what you said. You said they made us separatists, but
Mm-hmm.
they have the nerve to sit here and say to us, black supremacists, black separatists. We didn't do this. Who
No.
put up those white only signs around the country? Who to this day make us feel unwelcomed in certain neighborhoods? If you're in certain neighborhoods, what you doing in our neighborhood? What you know what I mean? You ain't from around here, or like Paradise that burnt completely down. They said that that place was a sundown town.
Yes.
Now,
Yes. And they burned up a lot
cause
of black
all of
people's
these,
houses in that
right?
town.
They cause all of these divisions, and then when many of us throw our hands up and say, "All right, we'll stay away from you," oh, you're a racist. What the fuck?
Yeah, they want to what they want, what they like it goes back to what I was saying earlier. What they still also want, this is the insanity part. Whenever they get a wild hair up their butt, they want to have us around for a form of entertainment or to abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And no, no, that's that's not an option. Do I hear other voices? Are you there, Brenda? I thought I heard Brenda's voice.
KD, are you on the panel?
The other people on the panel, yeah, they must be having some issues with your sound because I thought I heard another voice.
Well, I know Markia is on the panel.
Hmm.
Markia, are you there?
Are they unmuted?
No, I know Brenda is still muted. I don't she might have stepped away.
Okay.
Brenda, are you there? Okay. She
All
might
right.
have stepped away. But here's the thing. You caused all these divisions historically, and
Mm-hmm.
you're still causing these divisions. And then when many of us say, okay, we'll just leave your ass alone. Now you coming back talking about you're racist. You
Mm-hmm.
you causing division. You're the reason why there no black people are not the reason why there are divisions in this country. We didn't start this shit.
Mm-mm.
This stuff
Mm-mm.
didn't come from us. We didn't sit around and cook up this mess and presented it to the entire world on all these divisions based on skin color. No,
Mm-hmm.
you used skin color because you didn't have nothing else going for your sorry ass. So that
Correct.
was the best thing you could come up with, which is not good because when we take a real look at your skin, you got the worst skin on the whole earth.
Lord, you sure do. Watch 24 hours, what you call it, sunburn news.
Yeah. So you
I,
had to ultimately, they had to sit around and make shit up
mm-hmm.
to give this to in order to create this hierarchy that they're on in America.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all an
And,
illusion.
and another thing I would like to add, any black folks that's that wants to be around Esau at this point in time, seeing what's going on, you a damn fool, because I'm gonna tell you what, they gonna really show you how they feel, because they worried about their immediate situation.
Mhm.
They are taken out of their comfort zone, and they can't do the things that they used to do dealing with their stuff. They don't want to see your black ass.
Mhm.
They really don't. And black folks gonna find that out. The ones that like to prance and dance in their face and get petted on the head, they don't want to be bothered with you.
Right.
They really don't. And it's amazing to me, in this day and time, you still got some that can't breaking their neck to get to them. And more find out because they feeling some kind of way. And now this stuff is getting real. And I'm like you, Lisa, I cannot wait to go see this blood moon. I'm
Mhm.
setting my timer. I know where I gotta go, because I can go up a little bit higher because I live in the hills. And I'm gonna make a point. I'm gonna even try to film it. Hopefully, we won't have the overcast. That's the only concern
But you know
I
what,
have.
Queen? You wanna hear something funny? I was
Hmm?
praying last night, and during my prayer, I said to the Most High, "Here in my state, we're forecast to have a storm all weekend."
Hmm.
And I said, "So does that mean I'm gonna have to look at this thing online and I won't be able to walk out and see this thing?"
Hmm.
I kid you not. 5 minutes later, I looked up in the sky that was completely overcast, and
Hmm.
the moon was right in front of me. I
Amazing.
kid you not.
Wow.
I was almost fell out of my seat. The sky was completely overcast, and that moon was sitting dead in front of me, as plain as day, clear. I
Wow.
was
Wow.
like,
Whoa.
I guess I got what I wished for.
Yeah, you got your
Yeah,
prayers were definitely
and I
answered.
guess he was letting me know, "Don't worry about the overcast. You will
Mm,
see this
Yeah,
moon."
yeah, I got you covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I never seen one. And usually when this stuff happens, I'm sleeping straight through it. But I just feel like it's so much going on. This is really, really special, because I
Mhm.
mean, it's record breaking, all these different events that are happening. And it's like even even with these volcanoes, they talk to each other and they waking up. It's all if things are getting ready to get balanced back out, because you can keep I, you know I put in the frame of mind of the scales of justice, and we know them scales ain't been operated fairly at all. And so
Mhm.
Mother Nature has the ability to bring things back to a balance. And trust and believe, like you were saying, Lisa, they are petrified
Mhm.
of this blood moon,
I want y'all to
because
see something, but you're right, Queen. They are scared out of their minds, and
mhm,
you'll hear a lot of them saying, "This is the end. This is the end." No, it's not the end of the world. The world is going to be here. It's the end of their reign on this
mhm,
earth. That's what's
mhm,
ending. And it was so funny because back in the day, this white girl tried to say to me, "We're going to be in power forever." First of all, that's stupid. When you go back in history, there is no group on this earth that held power forever. And
nope.
these folks ain't going to pull it off either.
Mm-mm.
Okay. They're not going to pull it off either.
They keep thinking they're gonna get a pass. And let's also remember, um, and I always have to say it over and over. My grandfather told me in the '80s, when this reign ends, it's gonna be the shortest and the dumbest empire ever.
Yes.
Ever.
Well, according to if that Shedemite really thinks that, then how come Second Ezra 6 and 9 saying that their reign is gonna end and ours is gonna begin when they fall?
Right. And KD, I want you to remember another thing. Our rise and their fall is immediate. There is no break in between. The second they fall, we rise. There is
Mhm,
no they fall and we got to wait another 3 years. No. No. The Most High
mhm,
got this set up where the second they fall, we are at the top. It is instantaneous.
mhm.
It is
So
instantaneous. There is no break in between.
absolutely, I don't know what the hell that Shedemite is talking about. The fact that these Edomites are crying about their meal now, I don't see how they're gonna get even past this.
Carolyn, they out of their comfort zone, man. And
Yeah,
they always they
they're
are.
what's beating them up, Queen and KD, what's beating them up is their own is doing this shit to them.
Yes. And we all seeing it.
Mhm.
The whole world is seeing it. The whole world is watching it. I'm telling you, we live long enough to see this. We were selected for this.
I mean, even the word said that nations was gonna rise against nations. Look at what's going on with Russia and China. They're targeting this motherfucking Babylonian shit on right now as we speak.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right, y'all.
Yes.
I want to show y'all something. I'm sharing my screen for a reason. I want y'all to see something because
Hello?
I want you to see that we have the super moon and blood moon tomorrow, right? But
Mm-hmm.
look at this. There are 3 super moons and they are consecutive, y'all. We got the January 21st. There's another super moon, but this is not a blood moon, but it's a super moon.
Wow.
February 19th. And we got another super moon on March 21st. 3 in a row.
Wow.
One's a blood moon. The
I
other
never
2
heard of
are
that.
not. 3 consecutive blood moons. If those are not signs from the heavens, I don't know what is.
So we're actually gonna get our first one in March, according to the Hebrew calendar, correct?
Yes, technically, because this is not our new year. You're right. This
So
is not our new year.
So to let y'all know that we're gonna have one in March, and the one that we're gonna have in March is going to be during retrograde. So that means the things are going to be even more intense than ever.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Now, y'all, just remember the blood moon always signifies a change.
Mm-hmm.
It signifies a change, and this is significant, and they know it because this is getting near the 400-year mark. Okay. That's why you see them shaking in their boots. They know that retribution is coming. They know it. They feel it.
Yep. They're taken out of their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they could go ahead and celebrate their little victory in Chicago with the Laquan McDonald case. They can sit up there and celebrate their little victory or future victory or wherever else they doing. But I already know their end is already here. It's already here, and they freaking out over missing a meal.
Yes.
These motherfuckers ain't the superior ones. I mean, this just tells me all together that our coming home event is like close. I can see it.
Yes.
Well, see another thing is all the bluff games. They done played out all the bluff games. They don't have nothing else left. Nothing else is left. They don't have nothing else to use. So they just keep doing the same repetitive stuff. And it'd be a few people, I admit, that will fall for it. But you got to really think they don't have enough in them to come up with anything new to bluff the world, let alone us, that they are the superior ones. It's nothing left because they are so desperate what they are doing to their own people, that they can't hide it no more. Because like I said, each day that go by, and you got to keep telling your babies no, and they looking at their immediate situation fall before their eyes. They don't care how it look, because usually they're pretty good at showing a united front. To hell with a united front. You can really see white folks fight each other in a way we ain't never seen. They fight real vicious with each other. They'll fight their mamas, their daddies. They don't care. They don't care.
Even Matthew 12:26 say that devil's gonna fight against devil. So if the empire collapse, is there gonna be one left? No.
And when we're not
collapsed, KD, it's already collapsed.
Collapse. Yep, it's collapsed.
It's already collapsed.
And so the thing is, this is the thing we've been talking about for the longest. All we have to do is stay out of their way. They'll take care of themselves as far as wiping each other out, because they're not stable. And we've been getting door samples of it, but now it's going to get rampant. That's like somebody was joking the other day saying, "Oh, stay away from a high rise, something subject to fall out." That's real. That ain't no joking matter.
Yeah, that
and
sure
stuff.
isn't.
And you know, we still got that small group of black folks that like to hang around them. You keep entertaining with them. Like I was saying, they was running over there to that white boy's channel talking about happy birthday. You're gonna feel exactly what they feel.
Yes.
As a
Exactly.
matter of fact, real queen, I read of an article like from a few years ago where actual head fudge manager actually dove off of a building.
That's
Oh
not
yeah,
that.
a lot of them were doing that back in the day. I remember back in KD back in remember when they had the recession under Bush? I saw a lot of them do that back then. They were checking out of here trying to get out during that recession in 2008. I saw it then.
There was plenty of stories and articles of them falling. I mean, oh man, especially under Timothy Geithner and the rest of them. Oh, it was crazy.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Markia, do you want to say anything?
I think
Okay. Miss Brenda, are you there? Brenda?
Yeah,
no, they
Okay,
not there,
maybe
man.
not.
and back to 2008, even the fact that they even had help from with inside their own system, you know, they were still falling. So how many more are they gonna fall when everything is actually ending?
Now, let me tell you something, KD. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought it up. Do you know how many financial crashes, hard crashes financially America had? 5. 5. So again, it goes right back to me telling you they have never been good with money in this country. Never. Hi, Miss Brenda.
Hey, Queen. Shabbat
Hello.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom to you.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah. Hello, sweethearts.
Go ahead. Dive in here, sisters. Dive in. I want to hear what you got to say.
Well, you know, I felt your passion this morning. You know, I was talking to Royal Queen and she said, Lisa's on. So we both came over and I'm just so glad you're doing this. And, you know, especially on sort of the eve of Martin Luther King's birthday celebration. You know, I get so tired of the enemy trying to tell us what our history is. We have to stop them from doing that. We have to own our history. We have to own our truth, because all they're going to do is feed us all lies, which confuses us, which has us saying things like Martin Luther King and all that ridiculous, has us fighting Christians against, you know, Hebrew Israelites, against Muslims, against, you know, this is all lies. And it's all meant to divide us. And we as a people in these last seconds, as Royal Queen puts it, have to stand together. And I see and I smell the fear in these people. I see it all. I can smell it. I can almost taste it. When you start speaking your truth to them, they get really quiet because they know what you're saying is the truth. They can't hide it anymore. They know that we're not accepting the bullshit anymore from them. They know they can't pat us on the head anymore and say, you a good Negro, aren't you? They know that shit is not working anymore. They know that our eyes are open. And they know that the kingdom of God and we are the chosen people is the truth. So that's why they're killing themselves.
Brenda, I'd like to ask you a question. Since you live across the pond, what is the reaction to the white folks over there looking at what's going on over here?
I'm glad you asked that, because I went to a funeral last week of a good friend of mine. She happens to be white. It was her mother's funeral. And we sat around and had a conversation.
I hear some feedback.
Autumn, is that you?
I'm not sure. I'm checking. Is it clear now?
It was
Yeah, we
some
just heard some
feedback.
background noise. That's all.
Yeah, I was trying to test to make sure that I was actually in. So.
Oh no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
you're fine. You're fine. I'm just going to mute you for a second, okay?
Okay, no problem.
All right, go ahead, Brenda.
But I'm going to just going to tell you this little story. So I was sitting around, you know, after the funeral at their house, and actually this friend's cousin had a cousin that came to the funeral, and this guy came up to me and he said, "You know, you look just like my sister." And I thought that was really weird because I am not fair skinned at all. And and then they proceeded to say that, you know, I had some, you know, like cheekbones and facial features of the sister. Then they showed me a picture and I could see a little bit of the face, you know, the cheekbones and stuff. And but you know, because me being black, you know, I'm way prettier. And then they were saying, but you have some mannerisms that are like her too. They said it's almost freaky, like we're looking at a black version of their, you know, sister, cousin, whatever. And then they said, well, you know, she's from Portugal. And I said, that's interesting. I had my DNA tested, and actually I'm 79% TCAR people of Cameroon and 21% Portuguese, which means 21% demon. Ugh. Anyway, so they started going on and on about Portugal, naturally, because these are white folks. And they said, oh, you really need to visit Portugal. And I said, no, I don't. I need to visit Cameroon. And I said, because I don't want to know about the Portuguese people who enslaved and raped my ancestors. And I said it in a room full of white folks. And they got quiet. And, you know, after the shock hit them, that somebody would come out and say this in front of them, they finally said, we know. So they know.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
all
they know. They know, and that is the whole purpose in trying to censor us on YouTube.
Yeah,
They know. And when we speak this, it's almost, it like burns their ears. You know, you gotta understand, you're not just speaking the truth. You are hitting them spiritually. You are hitting them in a way they can't handle it. This is why they will come out against somebody like Michael Anderson, will come out against somebody like me, because what I'm saying, it is not just words, but it is really hitting him in such a deep way, he has to react.
You know what, Lisa? I came across this damn sheet of Mike that report from Mike Adams from naturalnews.com. She was talking all this shit, talking about now all of a sudden we need to come together and oust people out of office, because I think she was really talking to Cole, talking about we need to remove this congresswoman, new congresswoman from Minnesota. Oh, wait a minute. So now we gotta come together and remove. No, you motherfuckers lived off of our backs and our energy for so damn long. Now all of a sudden you want to say we? No, Sheeta Mike, bitch, you on your own.
Oh yeah, I'm not coming together with them.
We're gonna hear a lot of that too.
I'm not coming together with them, KD, over no damn political issue.
Yeah, we're gonna hear a lot of that.
Let me just get that straight and up front right now.
Yeah, a lot of that. We're gonna hear a lot of that, and that's why I've been also repeating about these unquote liberals. At the end of the day, they still want to uphold white supremacy because they benefit from white supremacy. No, see, people gonna want to work with us. People gonna want to do this and that with us. No, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. No. You now shit is falling apart. Now it's time to come. Let's be fair and righteous. No. Y'all never be fair and righteous because y'all still show us glimpses of it all the time.
I was sitting there like real quick. I was sitting there like, now all of a sudden she's calling for this we. Where the fuck was this we at when that bitch was lying on Black Wall Street and got it burnt down? Where the fuck was this we when they was plotting on MLK to be killed in Memphis? So I say the hell with that fucking weatherman and fuck this Natasha. I mean, this Natasha, she looked like she got fucking butter and cottage cheese on her fucking face. Now she want to talk about some we. Get the fuck out of here. I want you bitches to phone now.
Autumn, do you want to say anything? Just click on the mic if you're muted. You can unmute yourself. Autumn, are you there? Click on the little mic logo that you see on the screen. Okay, you want to say anything? You had it. Do it again. I can hear you.
Okay. One thing I did want to say is I wanted to make it very clear for a lot of people that do not understand is the simple fact of the matter is there are only two races. That is the white race and that is people of color. So, we're speaking about, white people, the demise of white people. Of course, they've already projected by 2040 that white people will be virtually extinct. And so by that time, that's still not going to be the solution to the problem, because at the end of the day is Asians are white.
Mm-hmm.
So even after, these white Caucasoids are dead, we still have to deal with China. We still have to deal with the rest of these Asians that are out here. They're still white. So with that being said, is we're just going to move from one oppressor to another oppressor. So with that being said, is that it's more of a reason for us to get on code and for us to get our shit together, because if we do not, we're still going to be in the same position that we're in now, because
Mm-hmm.
there's no way that we're going to be able to have any type of liberation if we do not address the situations that are here. Now, I hear certain people saying, hey, we need to move back to Africa. We need to do this. I'm not moving anywhere. Sorry. Because my opinion is that we own this entire planet. We
Mm-hmm.
were here. We're indigenous. We're the indigenous people. We're the original people. We were here before everybody else was. And when it all boils down to it, we were all across the globe indigenous. So
Mhm.
therefore, how can we speak about Africa when the entire planet belongs to us?
Right.
So
I
Mm-hmm.
agree with
African,
that. I
yeah,
agree.
yeah, and so Africans need to step up to the plate and they need to take back their own country. Because if they're looking at us to do that, how can we fight two battles on one front? We're sitting here trying to deal with this country, and then we're
Autumn, are you there? I can't hear you anymore. Autumn?
Oh wow.
Autumn, are you
Well, see,
there?
I think I hear her talking, but it's not.
She's having. I know she said at first she was having some issues with her.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you might be having some audio problems. We're not hearing you anymore.
well, I would like to
Okay.
interject.
Wait a minute. I think is she
Okay.
coming back?
Autumn? Okay.
I just wanted to say, to respond to Autumn, that we're not going to be transferred from one oppressor to another.
No, we're
No,
not.
no,
No, we're not.
no, we're not. Mm-mm,
So rest
mm-mm.
assured, we're not. This is not a transfer. This is.
And speaking of Moab, by the way, they got their own damn problems. I mean, they got their birth rate so damn low, just as some parts even lower than the damn Edomites. And then number two, this is also a cut. This is also a nation that is also gonna fall. So I'm gonna put this out there in the universe right now.
nation has
All
already
these other
fallen, though.
Gentiles are gonna fall. All of them.
It's already fallen, though. This country is broke.
Yes,
The
it is,
the
Autumn. That's what
the
I'm trying to tell you. You're right, Autumn. That's what this wall thing is hiding. This country is broke. This government is shut down. It ain't over no wall. This country don't have shit. And
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to hide behind this wall situation.
Mm-hmm.
The wall is just a smokescreen.
Yeah, it was
see
funny. You remember when what was that, last week or 2 weeks ago, when Trump went over there to Mexico and he tried to cover it up like, oh no, I wasn't asking for money. Yes, she was. He didn't already ask. He already thought first he was just going to bully him and tell him what they were going to pay for, and the leadership over there in Mexico basically told them, it told Trump, "F you, and we ain't paying for nothing." You're talking about a wall, man, a wall. A wall. That's laughable. A wall.
well,
Sm-
that wall is not going to do anything. Let me tell you that right now.
it ain't gonna
It's
change
not.
their media
The wall
situation.
is a smoke screen, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. The wall is a smoke screen. When it all boils down to it, like I said, this country is broke. When
Yes.
when
Bring
it
it,
all boils
Autumn, because it is.
when,
Yes.
when it all boils down to it, Zimbabwe is one of the poorest countries in the world, and Zimbabwe has more money than we do. We're over
Exactly.
we're over $60 trillion in debt, and
And
the only reason why this country is still standing is because China is paying our rent. So is Russia, and so are other European countries. Now we're sparking up things with China, because China and Russia, they're about to bail and quit the U.S. dollar and go for their currency that they created together. So with that,
And to add to your point, Autumn, they both already reportedly rejected the dollar. So it's like more of these countries reject the dollar, it's over for this shithole.
well, it's
And
already over.
it's
That's
already
the point.
I
But
want
you
y'all
know,
to see
Lisa,
something. Hold on, I want y'all to see something. I want to because I want Autumn and True Royal, Brenda, and KD's opinion on this one. You're gonna get a chuckle out of this. Hold on
Okay.
1 second.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, look at this, y'all. Chinese women paying African men to marry them.
Oh wow.
Look at
Damn.
this. Chinese women pay African men to marry them in China.
Damn.
You know why they're doing this? It's number one, they can get Africa citizenship. Number two, once they have that, they can have a business in Africa. That's what this is all about. It's all about them making establishments in Africa. How do you do it? You marry an African. But look at this. Chinese women pay African men to marry them in
Damn.
China. Go ahead, True Royal, because I know
Yeah,
you
and
got
China's using the same strategy that white folks have been using for over 500 years, conquered and colonization.
right,
That's what they're doing.
right. Go ahead, True Royal.
Well, well, it's serious. Oh Lord, let me get myself together.
I know exactly what she's thinking. Oh my Lord.
Why y'all gotta stay out of my head? Okay. No, I'm not gonna say all that. Anyway.
If you don't say it, I will.
Queen, because I know what you.
No, you don't want me to say that. You don't want me to say that, okay? No. Don't say that, Kim. Okay, on a serious note. Wow.
Africa is already whitewashed. What do you mean? Africa is a continent of slaves. That's what it is. They're over there bleaching their skin. They're over there worshiping white Christianity. They've already been conquered and colonized.
But I also don't buy this so-called rise of Moab. All Moab is really doing is selling their debt around Africa. That don't mean that they got it like that.
No, they don't. But go ahead, Queen. Go ahead, True Royal.
On a serious note, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing different things that are being done that on the surface may look successful, but once the dust settle, this stuff ain't gonna be successful because we do know the ending of our story. That's why the people that really know the word, when I hear y'all go off to the left or to the right, because I'm not well versed in the word, I will go back to what y'all been saying to us. So these are things that are charades to me. It's not going to work because all of this has to end and we have to start anew. So yeah, you can play these charades all you want, but it's not going to happen because these prophets are going to play themselves out and everything like that. So we already know what's going to happen. It's really a waste of time, but it's laughable at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It is. Go ahead, Queen Brenda. Go ahead, Brenda.
Well, I also, with that tax scam that Trump came up where he gave all this money to all the people who already have the money has added to the debt. So they don't give a shit. What they're doing, like you said, Queen Lisa, is they're stealing all the money and they want to just take it and leave America broke. I mean, Trump is making America broke. This
country's been broke.
Yeah, I know, but what they're doing is they're stealing as much as they can while they can.
Right.
Because once everything collapses, there's no more to be taken.
Yes. And Autumn, you're right. You know what? Now you think about this, the fiat dollar, right? Is backed by nothing. The only thing they back their money up with is you should trust us.
Yeah,
that's it. That's what their money's backed up with. No, they're not backed up with gold or silver or nothing else. Their money, that fiat money is, hey, just trust us.
Trust us. Oh, that's a good one.
Lisa, they got the 100% bullshit guarantee. Okay.
Listen, let me tell you, this country, there's a movie that I think that everybody should watch, and it's called Red Dawn. Now, Red Dawn shows what happens when China is ready to cash in for, all the loans that they've given us all these decades. Now, we're only surviving because of China, Russia, and European countries, loaning us all this money. So please watch Red Dawn. That
Okay.
movie tells
Yeah,
you.
I saw that. I saw it back in the day when it came out, Brenda.
Right. Now they used Korea, they used North Korea, but it was actually China. They replaced because China had a big issue with America using them, so they replaced China with North Korea, but it's actually China.
Wow.
So China owns a large portion of this country. So many of the states in this country, China owns.
Right.
So when Obama was in office, when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton made a deal with China stating that if we default on being able to pay you back our loan, we will give you parts of the United States. There is no way, even in 5,000 years, could we pay China back. We
Right.
cannot.
And,
So at that point, most of these countries here belong to China.
yeah.
Texas, California, and many other states. This
And let
is
me
why.
tell you something, Brenda.
Mhm.
Not Brenda, I'm sorry, Autumn. Let me tell you one more thing. Do you know the Arabs? The Arabs own 6% of the United States.
I'm not
Wow.
shocked.
Yes, the Arabs own 6% of this country.
I'm surprised it's that low.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more than
Boy,
that.
and the thing is, their folks don't even know this. This is the thing. This is the thing that I'm liking about this shutdown is showing you the core of what's going on with white folks. We've been living by paycheck to paycheck and know how to survive, but we're really getting to see everything has been peeled back. Everything's been exposed and stuff. And
Well,
there
it's
is
been
there is
exposed, though.
yeah, there is no comfort zone for them or anything. Because, like I said, that's the nature of these folks. They feel like, oh, they got us taken care of. To hell with everybody else. Because one guy even said it. Him and his wife work for the government, and he said, "I don't care as long as I get my paycheck." I didn't care.
Well,
Now there ain't
guess
no
what?
checks coming
Guess
in the
what?
house.
Now he and his wife ain't getting shit, right?
Shit. Uh huh.
Be
So that's
careful of what you wish for, right?
and it was all an illusion all the time and stuff. We've been dealing with reality, which I'm happy that we have been
Actually, we're
dealing
not
with.
dealing with reality, though. We're living in the matrix. Everything
No,
is an
what I mean by
illusion.
let me explain myself when I say reality. What I'm saying is when this so-called slavery ended for us in November of 1865.
It didn't.
uh no, I said so-called
Okay.
slavery.
Sorry.
So-called slavery. And what I'm saying is that um um we've always been put in a state of survival. People, our folks. I'm only strictly talking about our folks because that's all I care about and stuff. And the thing was, I keep saying that if they call themselves really wanting to stick it to us, they could have did the reverse and fatten us up for the kill.
But you
Because
know what? They are fatting up. See,
Exactly.
look at it
yeah,
this
they
way.
are.
Look at it
Mhm,
this way. The Most
mhm.
High done fattened them up for the kill.
Yeah, and so they've been lackadaisical with these illusions and stuff, and now it's like reality is really hitting them in the face. They seeing that their government is unstable. Before my father passed, he was telling me. He was telling me. He said he had read that the American dollar was worth 16 cents.
Yeah,
So
honey,
it has no value.
Queen, I've heard 10 cents.
Yeah, so I
10
figured it
cents.
has no value. So the everyday white man and white woman who is delusional was walking around here thinking that they were um um in a comfort zone. And it's this shit been it's been having Trump in place and the other people in place really just stripped back the whole thing. And
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh wow.
I agree
We
with that.
don't."
And you know what? And Queen, you brought up a good point when you talked about the couple that were government workers. It's even worse for them
Mhm.
because under the government contract that they work under, they're not even allowed to go get another job. Do y'all know that?
Yes.
If they
Yes.
get another job, they can take them to court and really screw these people over. It's not like, okay, the government is shut down, I just go find me a little part-time gig or something on the side until it opens back up. They can't. They are under a signed contract that says they can have no other job outside of the government. So they are really screwed.
So basically,
well, I think that depends on what branch of the government.
No, I was listening to them.
No,
you can actually listen to those interviews. They
Yes,
will
they
tell
can.
you
say that
under
is
their
because-
contract they can't get no other job. I've heard this straight from their mouths.
Yeah, it's been
Well,
quite
the
a few.
only reason why I say that is because my son works for the White House. And so at that point, you know, they're doing their recession thing, you know, they're going based upon the cuts, but Trump promised and said that they were going to get retro pay. So even though they're going through the cut, supposedly, you know, those that are in the White House and those that are in the government are supposed to. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to happen, but yeah, my son knows better than I do. So I don't know.
Now, here's the problem with that, and I feel you, and I'm you know, and I'm glad your son's up on what's going on. Here's the problem. In the meantime, even if they're getting back pay, they don't have access to it now. And
They don't.
Mortgage companies and people that own these apartment complexes, they want their money now. And you signed a contract. You signed a contract that said you were going to make X amount of monthly payments as long as you live there. Here's the problem. These people can get evicted. And those folks that own these mortgages and these apartment complexes, they are not outside of their right if they evict these people and get rid of them. And pay somebody that can pay the rent.
And Lisa, let me say one more thing about the currency. And Royal Queen, our currency has been worth nothing since they got rid of the gold standard.
Yeah, and that was back in the early 70s, Brenda.
That's been worth nothing since they got rid of the gold standard. Remember, they used to have, you know, this is backed up by gold. It's no longer backed up by gold.
So that was the 80s, though. That was the 80s.
And to your point, Brenda, Kissinger even had to go to Saudi Arabia to make a deal to even keep it afloat.
Yep. And then another thing I want to say real quick is, you know, with these, I'm losing my train of thought. I was going to say something about, I heard a congressman, one of these Republican senators or congressmen or something, recommended that the furloughed workers go on strike, and some of them have in their contracts that it's illegal for them to strike.
Right.
So
that's not going to work.
If they do that, they can be prosecuted. Now you're going to take their money away from them, and then you're going to subject them to prosecution. That is bullshit.
Let me interject something in here, because I've been thinking about this for a minute. All of this stuff that's been going on about what the federal workers can and cannot do, and they have even been demanding that they have to continue to keep working. What they're basically saying, how I'm listening to it, and I'm just going to just be exclusive deliberately, they're asking white people to be slaves. You're going to work this anyway. We got all these laws in place. When you think about it, you're going to work for free, because there ain't no guarantees on anything. Even though you're talking about retro pay or anything, I don't trust anything that this government say. But when you really think about it, it's like, are y'all willing to be slaves?
I mean, it's so damn sad, Royal Queen, that they can't even enjoy their empire according to Laminations 421. I mean, Laminations 421 told them exclusively to enjoy it, but they can't even do that.
But I'm serious. But think about it. Are they willing to be slaves?
Well, see, the thing is, black people are slaves, though. White people are indentured servitude.
That's right. There you go.
That's see, we need to get the difference between slavery and indentured servitude-ish. I mean,
that's how I was taught. You're right, Queen. Yep.
And
I was taught the same way.
Yeah, white folks, you know, they work as slaves, but they're being paid for it. Now, we're just slaves all across the board, and that's just the way it is.
Well, that whack-ass Constitution, we're not even 3/5 of people.
That's when it goes back to the 13th Amendment. And that's why the prison industrial complex is as strong as it is, because they need a new slave force. This is the reason why immigration is a big lie conspiracy. They wanted all those illegal immigrants over here because they want the cheap maids, they want the landscapers. You got people that don't even have a backyard that have landscapers. What do you need a landscaper for if you don't even have a backyard? That's my question. So it's all about indentured servitude and slavery. White people are going to do any and everything that they can to keep their illusion of power up, but at the end of the day, is they already know themselves that they are done. And
Right.
so
I mean, the thing of it,
has already.
the thing of it,
And you're right, Autumn. They have never, ever ran this society, had a war, or got anything done in this land without us.
Exactly.
the thing of it is, Autumn, even the immigrants don't even want to work for their ass no more. Look at these farms. You really think they're full of immigrants? Even the immigrants don't even want to work on their whack ass farms anymore.
Well, first of all, they need to go back home.
Yes.
That's
really
the
do.
only thing that I
Yes.
agree with Trump on.
They
is
seem to be
immigration.
better off at
That is
home.
the only
When you
thing I
think
agree
about
with.
it, they
That
seem
is
to be better off at home.
And well, that's the look. This is how it works. The bottom line is we've done well. Actually, yes, they have, because actually Texas is actually Mexico. So with that being said, is when we conquered Mexico, we took a portion of Mexico and it became Texas. We gave them back their land, but then we kept Texas. So actually, we did do something to them. So technically, Texas is theirs. But you know, we can't speak about that right now because what's done is done. So the country's already established. It is what it is. However, this illegal immigration is a serious problem because I have a serious issue with it, because these illegal immigrants are coming over here and they're taking all the middle class jobs and poor, or lower class jobs away from Black people, which is hurting us a great deal.
And Autumn, on top of all of that, where do they come and live when they come here? They go straight to the Black community and start moving in where we live. And then they just become, then they become nasty and believe they're within their right, treating the Black community like crap. Now, how you gonna bring your dusty ass over here with nothing but flip flops on your shoes and you think on your feet, and you think you're better than somebody?
I used to work with a lot of them, Lisa. That last job that I worked on the Bay Bridge, the immigration was coming after them, and a lot of them didn't show back up at work. But the attitudes that these people had, they had never made that type of money in their life. They all lived together, and I mean, they get Americanized real quick. And I'm like with most of our folks, I'm in total agreement with it, because because the field that I worked in was construction, so they never kept a lot of people didn't know when they ended affirmative action, it always stayed in place in the construction field because those are federal dollars, and it never balanced out. These companies are rather take the penalty and have those
I'm
people.
sorry, when did they end affirmative action though?
Well, I'm talking about, and I'm living in the state of California, and they ended affirmative action back in, let me see, 90, it was either 96 or 97 in California, but it didn't end in like construction, because those are federal dollars on anything that's federal. And what was ironic to me was that these companies were willing to take the penalties because they wanted to hire them. And because one thing about the nature of the enemy, they want people that make them feel good about themselves when you're around them. And I guess we wasn't making them feel good anymore and stuff. So the way these Mexican people work, they do a lot of bowling and scraping and everything. But I'm in total agreement. They got to go back to their country. If they was really serious, this is what I said to KD.
I remember when they got rid of affirmative action, and you know who was right up there with them, beating the drum to get rid of it?
Who?
Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Clarence Thomas.
Oh yes.
That
yes.
mega queen. Yeah. That mega queen sitting on the Supreme Court. He was the main one that got up and said there is no need for affirmative action.
Yeah, he was.
Son of a bitch. That son of a bitch. I don't forget.
But the thing, what gets me is he benefited from affirmative action to get in the positions that he was in. And then once he got his unquote bag and got his immediate situation stable, then it's time to start whacking at your own folks.
Right. He got his shit. I got mine and fuck the rest of you. That's his.
But see, this is the thing that pisses off white folks. They was all delighted with that, and what ended up happening was we always step up to the plate and always overdo it. So the tests, the tests that children were taking in these schools and stuff, they kept passing them. That's like the situation with this young girl that Lisa did a story on. They just in utter disbelief that she could score that high. We can do that. We can meet all those standards and above. The only reason why this shit was in place is because how they rig up stuff, or it's like if you pass all the tests, they're subject to throw it away, change it, or anything. So it never worried me when they took that stuff away, because I know what our people are capable of doing. It's their fears.
But
they don't start
know,
nothing
though.
even.
I said, but we don't know.
Well, speaking of companies and everything, 45 did the same damn thing. I mean, he got immigrants at Trump Tower. He got immigrants at Doral in Florida. He got immigrants everywhere. So he's truly trying to benefit on both sides of the damn coin.
He's a contradiction. We
and
know
they all
this.
got fake fucking green cards. Yep.
It's not a contradiction, though. It's called indentured servitude.
Oh, that's right. I got to get that right.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's not a contradiction. It's called modern day slavery, though.
Oh, that's right. That's what
that is.
We got to look at that different.
We got to correct our language. Okay, slavery. Yes, exactly.
And let me tell you,
they got the green slave card. Yep. Okay.
And mark my words. I'm gonna tell you this right now. People of color, or at least Black folks, we have a battle on multiple fronts. Because number one, we're going to have to deal with the Mexicans and the people from South America. Once they come over here, they will try to conquer and colonize, and they will try to take over. Then we have to deal with China. Then we have to deal with our own issues, which we can't seem to deal with. So we're fighting multiple battles all across the board. And the question is, how do we fight those battles, though? Because Mexicans, or people from South America, they are whitewashed. Puerto Ricans think they're white. Dominicans think they're white. Mexicans are in a league of their own. So with that being said, they have no respect for us. They don't. They don't even like us. Because to them...
But Queen, those people will be destroyed. It's not like I said, this is not a swap. We're not swapping white folks for them people. Those people are.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's gonna make us stand up and fight even harder if people think they're gonna railroad us.
But we're not fighting. That's my question. We're not fighting. Why? So even if you look at the current events right now, you got white folks that are sitting there yoking up Black women over counters, attacking children, everything else across the board. The police department is going ape shit. So please tell me, how are we fighting? We're not doing anything.
Well, first of all, the police department is not doing anything different than what they've always done. It's just now they're being exposed because everybody's got a fucking camera on their phone. Hallelujah. Okay, because this shit's been going on forever. Okay, so this is nothing new. And also, the Chinese and all these other fuckers who are going in and abusing Africa and stealing resources from Africa, their days are numbered too. Okay?
Which is why I'm not even worried about the so-called rise of Moab. They're just another level of Gentiles. They all gonna be brought together and destroy America. Yes, but they're all gonna be gathered up and be destroyed all together. So that's why I'm not even worried.
And people in Africa, did you ever watch Dr. Mumbi? Dr. Mumbi's yes. That queen, she's telling you what's going on in Africa. These people are not all of them are rolling over and playing dead. A lot of them are awake. You got
And
you got
South Africa is rising up, right?
right. You got Julius Malema down there kicking ass and taking names. Okay, so people are waking the fuck up all
What
over.
happened? Wait just a second. What happened? Did Lisa get knocked off her own
Yeah,
stream?
she got dropped off. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let me check my email and see if she emailed me. Let's see what's going on here. Do we got to send a link to Lisa to get back on her own panel?
We wouldn't have to. She should be able to get back on her own channel.
Sometimes I got knocked off of one and somebody had to send me a link.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah, it happened to me one time.
All right, World Queen, do your thing.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know though, because you know, we keep saying that, you know, Black folks are waking up and things of that nature, but I'm still sitting here waiting to see it though. I don't see it. Please tell me where Black
no one knows. The Bible says no one knows the day nor the hour when it will occur.
It'll come like a thief in the night. Okay.
Exactly.
So, but see, the thing is, okay, never mind. I'm not even gonna